Our in-depth research for over 4 decades can help you understand the mindset that you need to survive and thrive in the digital economy. The yin-yang ability to apply optimization and agile innovation is your key to digital enterprise transformation. In this episode, we will explore the flux now taking place from the industrial economy to the digital economy. The characteristics of challenges and opportunities of our new world are starkly different from the characteristics that we have become accustomed to in the industrial era. The new business landscape has become a treacherous place for those who fail to adapt, and a virtual gold mine for those who do. Now, let us understand the flux.
You have to know the past to understand the present. So in order to understand the world we are in now, what we call our digital economy, we will first of all need to know what has happened in the past, what we call the industrial economy. Let's start by looking at world GDP. The World Bank measures world GDP in constant US dollars. The value of all goods and services produced by all the countries in the world in a single year. GDP is shown as a column of horizontal lines on the left. We will use one green box to represent a value of 10 trillion US dollars. Inside the box, we will show the number of years it took to accumulate 10 trillion US dollars of GDP. The space from left to right is divided into 60 equal spaces. Each space represents a year in time, from the year 1960 to the year 2019. The red dashed line marks the year 2000. The last year of the 20th century marked the end of an era and the beginning of a new one. Some call it the end of Industry 3.0 and the beginning of Industry 4.0. Others refer to it as the end of the industrial economy and the beginning of the digital economy. Andrew Tawney Research perceives the phenomenon as neither an end nor a beginning. Rather, it is a state of flux enabled by technology, an ongoing shift in the characteristics of the challenges and opportunities of our world. Now, take a close look at how many years it took our world to produce $10 trillion worth of goods and services for the first time. 19 years. The second $10 trillion? 10 years. Half the time. The third $10 trillion? 6 years. Clearly accelerating. But then look at what happened in the next round. The Asian crisis of 1998. Indeed, our engine slowed down a bit. We needed 8 years for that. Only to make a remarkable recovery. We needed less than 3 years to produce the world's fifth $10 trillion of GDP. Another acceleration brings in the sixth $10 trillion in less than 2 years. And in its tail, the unforgettable American crisis of 2008. For the first time in history, world GDP contracted. We all remember the decisiveness of America's new president-elect that year. Again, our world needed less than 2 years to produce the seventh $10 trillion of GDP. The American crisis slowed down the production of our $8th trillion of GDP. It also spawned the European sovereign debt crisis over the next 4 years. Consequently, our world experienced its second GDP contraction. 3 global crises. 2 GDP contractions within the last 2 decades. Per capita GDP doubled over the 60-year period under study. What happened? Or better yet, what are we still experiencing in the world today? Population growth alone cannot explain the accelerated growth of GDP. The answer lies mainly in the advancement and widespread use of digital technology. It is relentlessly fueling the convergence of 3 global phenomena. A new lifestyle for everyone without exception. A new generation of consumers, customers and workers empowered by smartphones. And the globalization of free markets. The characteristics of challenges and opportunities of our new world are starkly different from the characteristics that we have become accustomed to in the industrial era. The established ways of doing even the most basic tasks are being reinvented. The new business landscape has become a treacherous place for those who fail to adapt, and a virtual gold mine for those who do. This is the era of disruption. In the era of disruption, what are the new rules that we all need to learn to deal with? What is the right mindset for the digital economy?
In Episode 1, we explored the flux now taking place from the industrial economy to the digital economy. Established ways of doing even the most basic tasks are being reinvented constantly. We live in an era of disruption. The new business landscape has become a treacherous place for those who fail to adapt, and a virtual gold mine for those who do. There are new rules and we need to quickly learn to deal with them. In the next episode, let us understand those rules.